Ethan Walker pushed open the glass doors of La Belle Maison, a luxury store known for its velvet carpets, golden lights, and attendants dressed sharper than movie stars. He hesitated for a moment before stepping inside, clutching his worn brown jacket tighter around his chest. His boots, cracked and dusty from construction work, made a hollow sound on the polished marble floor. The store smelled of expensive perfume and freshly polished leather. The contrast was so sharp that it almost hurt his senses. Ethan's eyes darted around nervously. He wasn't supposed to be here, at least that's what everyone around him seemed to think. A woman in a sleek black dress, probably a store attendant, turned her head sharply at the sight of him. Her lips twisted into a polite but obvious smirk. She whispered something to her colleague, and both of them giggled softly behind their manicured hands. Ethan swallowed hard. His throat was dry, his palms sweaty. He wasn't here for himself. He was here for Lily, his 8-year-old daughter. Her school's annual art exhibition was coming up, and she'd worked for weeks on her painting, My Dream Home. She was one of the top students in her class, and this year, the school planned to award the winner with a full scholarship. But Lily had one small wish: she wanted a new dress for the event. Something pink and shiny, like the ones in fairy tales, she'd said with eyes full of dreams. Ethan had smiled and promised her he'd get her one. He had saved every penny for 2 months. Skipped lunches. Worked overtime shifts that left his body aching. But even with all that, the money he had barely reached $120. He knew he couldn't afford anything here, but he thought maybe, just maybe, there'd be a sale item, something small that would still make his daughter feel like a princess. "Can I help you?" The saleswoman's tone dripped with false sweetness. Her gaze traveled from his rough beard to his faded jeans, to the envelope in his hand that looked suspiciously like it held crumpled cash. "I'm, looking for a dress." "For my daughter," Ethan said softly, his voice uncertain. "Something, pink." The woman's perfectly plucked eyebrows rose. "For your daughter?" She chuckled. "Sir, this is La Belle Maison. Our children's dresses start at $800. Ethan blinked, his heart sinking. $800? That was almost a month's rent. He tried to smile politely. "Maybe something on discount? Or, a smaller size?" Her colleague, a tall man with slicked back hair, laughed outright. "Discount? Sir, we don't do discounts here. This isn't a thrift store." The other attendants turned to watch now. The laughter grew, soft but sharp, like the whisper of a blade. Ethan could feel every stare cutting into his pride. He wanted to disappear. But he stood his ground. "Could I at least see something simple?" he asked again, quietly but firmly. The woman sighed exaggeratedly and motioned toward a rack near the back. "Fine." The laughter behind him faded as Ethan followed Miss Fontaine through the store. Every step echoed like a declaration of dignity reclaimed. The attendants looked away, ashamed or afraid, it didn't matter which. Miss Fontaine led him into a smaller section of the store, one he hadn't noticed before. It was quieter, warmer. The lighting was softer, and the dresses here weren't displayed like trophies but like treasures, each handled with care. "My late husband started this company," she said as they walked. "He believed that luxury wasn't about money, it was about heart. About craftsmanship. I seem to have staff who've forgotten that." Ethan stayed quiet, unsure what to say. She stopped by a mannequin wearing a pink dress, not too flashy, but beautiful. A soft rose hue, simple ribbon waist, delicate embroidery on the sleeves. It was exactly what Lily had described. "This is one of my favorites," Miss Fontaine said. "We made it for a charity event last spring. The little girl who was supposed to wear it fell ill, so it never got used." Ethan looked at it in awe. "It's perfect," he said. "But I can't, I don't think I can afford." Miss Fontaine raised a hand. Tell me about your daughter. Ethan blinked. My daughter? Yes, she said gently. You came all this way for her. That tells me more than any wallet could. Ethan smiled faintly. Her name's Lily. She's 8. Smart as anything, too, loves painting, reading, drawing on walls, drives me crazy sometimes. He chuckled softly, rubbing the back of his neck. Her school's holding an art event. She worked so hard for it, and I just wanted her to feel special. She deserves that much. Miss Fontaine watched him quietly, her eyes glistening. And her mother? Ethan hesitated. She passed away 3 years ago. Cancer. Since then it's just been me and Lily. A silence filled the air, not heavy, but full of respect. Miss Fontaine nodded slowly. Mr. Walker, I'd like to offer you something. Ethan frowned. Ma'am, I can't take charity. This isn't charity, she interrupted softly. It's respect. She turned to an assistant who had been standing quietly nearby. Wrap that pink dress. And add the white shoes that go with it. The assistant nodded immediately. Ma'am, please, Ethan said, his voice breaking. I really can't accept. Mr. Walker, she said, looking him straight in the eyes. You've worked hard, raised your daughter, and came here with honesty and love. That's worth more than all the cards those people flash around here. Consider this a gift, from one parent to another. Ethan's throat tightened. I don't know how to thank you. She smiled softly. You already did. By showing me what this store should stand for. When he left the store, the attendants stood silently. No one laughed now. Miss Fontaine herself walked him to the door, holding the wrapped box carefully before placing it in his hands. As Ethan stepped outside, the golden afternoon sunlight hit. 2 days later, the school auditorium was buzzing with excitement. Parents filled the rows, students ran around, art pieces lined the walls. The air smelled of paint and promise. Ethan sat in the second row, holding his breath as Lily stepped onto the small stage. She was wearing the pink dress, the same one from La Belle Maison. She looked radiant, like a storybook come to life. Her brown curls bounced as she walked, her eyes searching the crowd until they found him. When she smiled, everything else disappeared. After the exhibition, the principal called her name. First place, Lily Walker. Applause filled the hall. Ethan stood, clapping with tears in his eyes. Lily ran into his arms, hugging him tightly. Daddy! I won. And everyone loved my dress. He kissed her forehead. You deserve it, sweetheart. You really do. Later that evening, as they walked home under the soft glow of the streetlights, Lily said quietly, Daddy, when I grow up, I want to buy you a nice jacket. One that doesn't have holes. Ethan laughed, his chest tightening. I'll hold you to that. When they reached home, he found a small envelope tucked inside the shopping bag, something he hadn't noticed before. Inside was a handwritten note. Mr. Walker, thank you for reminding me that kindness never goes out of style. Claire Fontaine. Tucked beneath it was a small business card, La Belle Maison, crafting dreams, not just dresses. Years later, when Lily had grown into a confident young artist with her own gallery, she would tell this story often, about the day her father walked into a luxury store and changed not just one life, but many.